Alright folks, we're out here making another video today. I find myself about 26 miles southeast of Cincinnati, Ohio. A little town called New Brunswick. It's Monroe Township in Ohio. This is one of the most brutal, heinous crimes my channel has ever covered. And for that reason I have to handle it with sensitivity. This red building right here is a firehouse. Okay? Over my other shoulder you'll see a stop sign. Right behind that stop sign is where the crime occurred. I'm going to walk y'all through this, show you all the locations. There's not many. This story just happened. This is only about 2 weeks old. Okay, so a lot of the details aren't out yet. I'm going to give you everything I possibly can. So like I say, we're going to handle this with extreme sensitivity. This is a warning to anybody watching this. This case does cover crimes against children. Okay, so that's y'all's warning. If I don't want to watch this, get out of here now. This is not for the faint of heart.
Can you tell how many people have been shot?
I think 2 children.
Okay. All right. I need. What was
That I've seen.
There's a girl running down the street saying that her stepfather is killing everyone in her family.
And what did the female say to you?
And she says that her stepfather is killing everybody in her house. I did. I'm on the phone with them right now.
Did she say how or what was happening?
I asked her to get in the car with me, and she said she couldn't leave her family.
On June 15th, 2023, Chad Doerman had arrived home early that day. Upon arriving home, he requested that all of his family members, the 3 young boys, his stepsister and wife, all might join him for a little evening nap. So they did that. They all went into the bedroom. The little stepsister, she stayed in the living room, was watching TV. Short time later, Chad decided he was going to get out of the bed, and there in the bedroom was a safe. He opened the safe and he retrieved a Marlin 22 rifle. There about that time, the stepdaughter entered the bedroom just as Chad decided he was going to go ahead and execute his plan. He took aim at one of his young boys lying there in the bed, and he shot one of them in the head 2 times. It was at this time that Laura screamed for the boys and everyone to run out of the room. One of the little boys had already gone. I believe this is going to be the 7-year-old, just being that, you know, he's a little bit more with it and a little bit older and probably reacted a little faster. He took off running into the hallway, followed by the sister. And whenever he exited the house, he exited the wrong way that the sister wanted him to go. Needless to say, he went out the back door of the house there and ran through a field. Sister followed him. Once again, she's just trying to give him aid, trying to help him. She didn't want to abandon him. Sister was trying to save her family's life. Chad comes out of the back of the house, lines up the 22 rifle on the boy, fires a couple shots, striking the boy, knocking him to the ground. I want to also add that she witnessed Chad chase him down and shoot him, knock him down, and then stand over him. And ultimately, the child was shot in the head, executed right there in the backyard by his father. She then runs back to the residence after just watching her brother get shot in the head by her father. Scoops up the little baby and takes off running around the house. She's soon confronted by her father again, and he's demanding that she put the child down. He's screaming at her. At this time, the mother has now exited the house, and she is rendering aid or trying to. Unfortunately, there was nothing she could do, you know. But she's now in the back, in the side yard of the house there, trying to render aid to the boy who was shot there in the backyard or the side yard. They call it the side yard, but on the house it's actually the backyard, I believe. Chad brings the rifle up, tries to kill the boy that's in the stepsister's arms. The gun must have misfired or was out of ammo, but the gun did not go off. It was at this time the boy that the sister was holding was put on the ground, and he ran to his mother in the side of the backyard there that was rendering aid to the boy who was shot there in the backyard. In the meantime, the stepsister, she's running up the road. She's going to the fire department, screaming for help. A passerby car stops, and she tells them, "My father's trying to kill everybody." They do end up calling the police, and the 911 call was recorded.
911, where's your emergency?
There's a girl running down the street saying that her stepfather is killing everyone in her family. It's on the corner of where there's a body shop in the fire department. Do you know what road this is?
Okay, what's your name?
Get into the fire department.
What's your name?
Do you know what road this is? Laura Lindell Road.
Said what?
It's Laura Lindell Road.
Okay, and what did the female say to you?
And she says that her stepfather is killing everybody in her house. I did. I'm on the phone with them right now.
Did you say how or what was happening?
I asked her to get in the car with me, and she said she couldn't leave her family. But I think she ran to the fire department.
So she went to the fire station. What did she look like?
She's she's probably a young teenager, probably like 16 maybe, with long blonde hair. And she has a black dog.
It was at this time the mother bent down and picked up the one remaining son. Chad came over and verbally, physically attacked her. Anything he could do to get that child out of her arms and onto the ground. Chad was fumbling with the gun still, and at this point he was attempting to reload it. They were arguing. He was pulling at her. He bit her. Ultimately, what I believe is probably what made her drop the child to the ground. Chad had successfully cleared the gun, whatever he had done, reloaded it. When the child hit the ground, Chad lowered the gun down onto that child, and he executed him right there in the ground. I also think it should be known that when the authorities arrived, all three children were laying in the front yard or in the side yard there by the driveway. Chad had went and got them all together and laid them out there. So once he was satisfied with what he had done, he led the rifle there on the side porch, sat down next to it, like he had no problems in the world. His wife, Laura, ran around trying to render aid, do anything she could to help the boys. There was nothing she could do, unfortunately. When all was said and done, 9 shots had been fired. 2 of the boys were shot 4 times apiece, and 1 of the boys was shot once in the head. Can you imagine the life-altering trauma that the mother of these 3 boys, and the sister also, but this one particular thing, having your child forced out of your hands at gunpoint, being bitten, being shot, and watching your son be executed, forced out of your hands. I don't think you could ever recover from that. So when the police arrived, Chad was taken into custody pretty much immediately.
Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up now! Stand up! Stand the fuck up!
Stage and air crews are going to go ahead and fly whenever any units can arrive.
Get your hands out of here. Caliber 21. It's in the air.
If those directions
confirm that there's people that need first aid, and that's the shooter who's not complying. They need to take care of the victims. They have to shoot him and shoot him.
Man, I ain't trying to hurt nobody or nothing. I'm completely sober. Never did drugs
63, we're 21. Get the EMS over here.
Well, I did drugs when I was little, but I don't do drugs now. I'm sober. I'm not trying to fight you.
63.
Get your butt inside. Gatlin, get your butt inside.
We on primary?
Now.
29, we got 3 kids down.
3 kids down, 16.
Gatlin.
63, we're 21.
Knock
Have
it off.
EMS respond over here.
You're clear, they're being advised.
Robert 34, just started mass casualty response.
63, do you want them to respond to the Laurel Lindale address? Where exactly do you need them?
We're right in the front yard.
He took my life from me! My life!
What are you doing, man?
Hey, are you copying all this?
Can I roll over? I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna hurt nobody.
You got anything on you?
No, I ain't got nothing, man. Phone, that's it. I ain't mad. I ain't nothing. Just make sure that dog don't come out. I don't think he'll bite you. Just don't reach for him and try to grab him and pet him.
All right.
He won't bite you.
What's going on, man?
Nothing. Can I stand up? It's kind of uncomfortable.
I'm gonna get
I ain't
you
gonna
here
do
in a
nothing. I ain't
second.
running away. You can do whatever you want with me.
Here. You the only one else inside the house?
What?
You the only one else inside the house?
Yeah.
Sit down right here.
My daughter, she ran over to the fire department.
Sit down.
It's my stepdaughter.
Put him in the cage.
This is Will. This is Will.
You know, it kind of struck me weird when the cops are sitting there. He's like, I'm not going to hurt you. And he yells at the dog to get in the house. The dog's name was Gatlin. But yet he sits there and murders his 3 boys, but he's not going to hurt anybody else. He seems so calm. He seemed so, you know, unaware of what he had just done. Laying right there in his sight in front of him. When they arrested him, he was just like a mere 15, 20 feet from his boys laying there in the yard. Come to find out, Chad had been planning the execution of these boys since as early as October of 2022. So for months, he had been planning this. And he admitted in an interview that he had not slept in up to 4 days. So he later tells police in an interview, I did it, take me to jail. And then he says he shouldn't have done it. He doesn't know why he did it. Stories like this drive me crazy. For one, I don't have the psyche to understand what could drive somebody to do this. Thinking crazy things and doing them are different things, but to actually be able to do this, you know, I almost put it in the same category as like a suicide, because obviously you have to have something wrong if you intentionally kill yourself. It's mental. And I don't know what he did was mental because it was pre-calculated, but to physically do it, even if he intentionally did it, to be able to physically do it, what makes a person be able to do something like that? It's that psychology that drives me crazy. And it interests me also in stories like this. In total, Chad faces 21 charges connected to his actions on June 15th. He's charged with 9 counts of aggravated murder, 8 counts of kidnapping, and 4 counts of felony assault. The judge ordered Chad to be held in Clermont County Jail on a $20 million cash bond. Clayton Doerman, 7 years old. Hunter Doerman, 4 years old. Chase Doerman, 3 years old. 3 brothers bonded together in life, and now for eternity, as God has reeled them into heaven for unending days of fishing, playing outside, way past their bedtime, laughing loudly and nonstop giggling. They loved unconditionally, sharing their big hearts with anyone who they could make laugh and give them love. Clayton, who was better known as Clayton Man, as they called him, he really enjoyed playing with Legos, riding his go-kart, telling jokes, singing. and playing with his favorite pal, his dog Gatlin. Hunter, who they called Hunter Dog, seemed like a little more the outdoorsy type to me. He was the ball player of the bunch. Although they all played ball, I think that was his passion. He enjoyed hunting and fishing, going to the creeks, catching frogs. One of his biggest passions, this is my third take trying to do this, by the way. One of his biggest passions was telling his mother and his sister they were pretty girls. And Chase, who they called Chasers, he couldn't wait to grow up to be a big boy like his brothers. He wanted to play baseball. He liked playing with dinosaurs. And he was the best cuddler. Always wanted to be right by his mama's side to give him hugs. And he'll forever be known as Mama's baby. I could not think of a better place to end this video than right here on the baseball diamond. I come out here and there's actually a little memorial set up for the boys here. Clayton, Hunter, and Chase, the world is praying for you. The world is praying for your souls, for justice, for the families, for the communities, for everybody. This is the most horrendous story I've covered to date. One of the hardest stories to cover. When it involves children, it's always the worst. They're innocent, they're defenseless. Anyways, we're going to end right there, okay? Thank y'all for coming and watching the video today. I appreciate it so much. If you're still here, you probably like what I'm doing. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, like the video, and leave me a comment below. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, Big Bake on the Move. Y'all come check me out. Once again, say a prayer for these families, this community, for everybody, for the souls of these little boys. We'll catch y'all on the next one. See ya.